you're looking for a fun, entertaining, spooky activity for the whole family, head out to Cambridge and check out the Harvard Square Ghost Tour. You'll laugh, you'll learn, and you'll definitely get goosebumps. Daniel Berger Jones, or Richard, I should say, told me all about what you can expect on a historical ghost tour.
The historical ghost tour, we get to go all around the Harvard campus and Harvard Square. We tell you about all the residual echoes of people and the consciousnesses that are floating around still, as well as a couple of pure pieces of fiction, I won't tell you which ones, and then some really terrifying, blood-curdling, witch goblin kind of stories as well, just to keep the variety in there.
Without sharing too much, Richard shares some spooky, spine-tingling stories.
A lovely young lady in the 1790s named Emily Pickham, and she and her fiancé are dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. You know the tale. Except for the tale ends like this. Her fiancé, they hit a bump, he falls off, cracks his neck, and dies in her arms. She's very, very upset. The sad truth is Emily Pickham never really got over it, and she became known as the Lady in Black. And for the next 150, 200 years, on the first snowfall of every season in Harvard Yard, if you were unfortunate or fortunate, depending if you wanted to see it and get the living daylights scared out of you, you might be able to see on the first snowfall a woman in black crossing Harvard Yard, making no prints in the snow and disappearing into Holden Chapel to find her lover.
And when you take a walk through the cemetery, pay attention to the different graves and tombstones that you may come across.
These are not above-ground graves. These are entryways. You flip off the top slab, you're going to walk down a set of stairs into a room with 8 to 12 shelves where families can be stacked. You can be buried for all of eternity with your family. Doesn't that sound appealing?
If you're looking for a new ghost story to share around the fire, this tour just may be the perfect opportunity to learn a new one.
We're trying to make sure that history buffs get a little of what they're looking for, a little of the good stuff that they can recognize, hoping that this sensationalist ghost folks are going to come and hear one or two that's going to make their spines tingle. But really we're hoping that everybody leaves this completely entertained and very, very happy with how they spent their evening. The goal is, I grew up around a lot of campfires. And so the idea was, how do we tell some nice campfire ghost stories in the places where they actually happen? So if people want to come back and freak themselves out, they're more than welcome to. We've made very, very sure that this is not a pee yourself kind of scary, scary tour. This is much more of a, let's go out and have a lovely family evening. Maybe the kids won't get to sleep quite as easily that night, and the parents can deal with that on their own time. Sorry about that, parents.
You'll also get to learn a lot about Harvard Square.
Harvard Square has so much life, especially at night. It's worth coming down here, checking it out. And this is a wonderful activity to not only get to know the area a little bit, because we also know a lot about history. We do historical tours as well. So you can get to know the area, but it's also something that's not going to bore the kids. They can come and be entertained and not know that they're actually receiving some true history.
How about that, parents? It's scary how easy it can be to get your kids interested in history. Almost terrifying.